Oh, okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I am thrilled to present Kandi Wilson and Jeana Lawrence. Kandi Wilson has worked at Chanute Public Library for 16 years. Jeana Lawrence has worked for Chanute Public Library for 4 years. With their combined experience, they're almost of drinking age. Not that they want to drink or anything, especially after this morning. Kandi likes to work best with the younger children, and Jeana likes to work best with tweens and teens. They help each other and together make a great team. They love their library and strive to make it a fun place that the youth of their area will also love. Their passion for their work just shines. So I asked them to share some of their programming ideas with you all today. So Kandi and Jeana, take it away.
Okay. I'm going to try and share my screen here. Can you let me do that? Oh, Tammy, can you let me share the screen maybe?
Yep, I'm working on it. Just
Okay, sorry.
It's not going to let me. I wonder why. Jeana, if you want to email me your presentation.
Sure.
I'll share my.
Oh, come here. Okay, just sent the link. Good thing we printed it out.
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difficulty.
Worked yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
What ages were the kids that came to summer reading this morning?
All ages. We had babies, we had toddlers, we had 3 and 4-year-olds, we had middle schoolers. Our program this morning was Plant People, which was through our Southland Extension District with the K-State Extension office. She had approached us and asked if we'd be willing to partner with a program with her. And so we said, of course we would. I mean, program that we don't have to plan. Of course we will. So what kids did is that the extension officer, Krista Harding, she had gotten rolls of pantyhose and cut them into little strips, and then kids stuffed them with dirt and seeds and then tied it into a little ball, and then you would put it in a cup and then put water in the bottom of the cup and then kind of water the top of your dirt ball basically, and then your hair would grow out of the top of your person. And so then our part was decorating. So we had googly eyes and pipe cleaners and pom-poms and jewels. So that was pretty fun. Okay. So I think we are ready to present. Are you just gonna scroll with us, Tammy? You have a little scroller?
How's that?
Let's see. Oh, good, perfect. Okay. So this is what we're presenting today. Our presentation is called Get With the Program, Primetime Programming at Chanute Public Library with Kandi and Jeana. And then we had a bunch of these hashtags that we had a lot of fun coming up with. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing is table of contents. We're going to talk about our actual programming here at Chanute Public Library, including summer reading program, our regular programs and outreach, and how we do it all, with sources of funding, grant tips and tricks, ideas, idea sources where we come up with the ideas and supplies, and question, comments, and brainstorming. Okay, so I'm going to start with summer reading since we just started summer reading. This week, our sign up started on Tuesday. We sign up for birth to third grade. And in our program, they have to read 20 books or have 20 books read to them. After 10 books, they get a drink from Cardinal Drug, which is a local drugstore here in town. And they have a soda fountain. And I always tell them it's the best pop in town. And that's totally true. After 10, they get the drink from Cardinal Drug. After 15, they get to fish from the fish pond. We usually have them pick from the treasure chest, but with COVID, we don't want everybody digging through the treasure chest. So last year we opted to fish from the fish pond. So everybody gets to, when they get to 15, they take their fishing pole and throw it over and they get a wonderful, fabulous prize in a paper bag that, you know, they pull in and catch their prize. After 20, they're finished. They get a t-shirt and a book, and they get to come to the swimming party at the end of the summer. And Jeana and I are wearing our t-shirts this year. Mine is for the elementary, and Jeana's is for the middle school and high school. And Jeana does a wonderful job designing those, and we have a local company that prints them for us. And one of our banks sponsors the elementary kids. And then for the 4th and 5th graders, they have to read 1,000 pages, and we have them read 3 out of 5 genres: poetry, fairy tales, biography, fiction, and nonfiction. And we're not picky. They can read a little bitty skinny fairy tale, a little bitty skinny poetry, and all the rest fiction. We just want them to hit on the different genres. And if I can get one of them to read a Shel Silverstein poetry book, you know what? Then they're hooked on poetry. It's great. You know, they get thrown off by the 1,000 pages sometimes, but you know, if you say, hey, it's 10 baby mouse books, put it in perspective, then they're good with it, you know? And so after, for them, it's after 500 pages, they get the drink from Cardinal Drug. After 750, then they fish from the fish pond. And after 1,000, they get their t-shirt and their book, and they come to the swimming party at the end of the summer.
So then we also have a program for the middle school and high schoolers. They're both the same program. We just have them split up between the different grades. So middle schoolers, they have to read 10 books. We don't care what 10 books they are. They just can't be picture books. So if we have a middle schooler who is maybe a little bit of a struggling reader, they can read 10 Dogman books or 10 graphic novel books. If they're really good readers, they could read the whole Harry Potter series if they want. We just want them to be reading something, and we try to make it, you know, as not as intimidating as possible, so that way they don't think that they have to read all 7 Harry Potter books. You know, they can read a little graphic novel here, they could read a short book here, and then maybe read a longer book there, you know, like a Percy Jackson book or something. And same thing for the high school. High school, they have to read 10 books, same deal. It can be any 10 books in our library, they just can't be picture books. So at 5 books, they get a drink from Cardinal Drug, so that way everyone in the family can go and get their Cardinal Drug drink together. And then at 10 books, they finish the program, they get their t-shirt and their book, and they get to go to the swim party. And then they also get a goodie bag, and the goodie bag contains little trinket stuff that we get from Oriental Trading or Rhode Island Novelty. We've had water bottles, we've had bracelets, we've had sunglasses, we've had glow sticks, we've had keychains, we've had hacky sacks, earbuds, all kinds of stuff. We just throw it in a bag, and then we give them a bar of chocolate and a can of soda and say, here you go.
And then as far as programming goes, we're doing weekly story times this summer, and most of our programming is going to be outside this year because of COVID. We want everybody to be able to socially distance and not have to wear masks if they don't have to. We're calling it our BYOB story time, bring your own blanket. or also could be a lawn chair if you wanted a lawn chair. We are doing craft packets this year. We are not doing in-person crafts because it's just the room that we do the crafts in is too small, and we'll have 50 kids for crafts, and it's just too. And we have volunteers that help us, and our volunteers are usually elderly, and they're still a little nervous about it. So we're just doing craft packets this year, and that's going to start next week. We do have special performers this year. We have Brian Windling, the juggler. Aaron Fowler's going to come with his service dog. Will Parker's going to be here. Nutty Professor.
Zoo.
Oh, Wichita Zoo's going to be here.
Mhm.
So we've got lots of special performers, and we're going to have them all outside also. So I do have all except for one of them. We have our Central Park Pavilion reserved in case of rain. We're hoping that it doesn't rain. All of them are going to be in the morning, except for one. And, so hopefully it won't be too hot, and hopefully it'll be before the heat of the day kicks up thunderstorms. Anyway, so we do have a lot of special performers this year.
And then in addition to our special performers, we also have different weekly little events that we do that we kind of just cycle through them. So we have our robots, we have, they're called Dash and Dot robots, and we have Codapillars. In previous summers, we did coding. One of our library staff was the coding teacher at the middle school, and she had a website that she would teach kids coding skills on. We're not doing it this summer because she's having foot surgery and we don't have enough computers to do it, to space out and everything. We're also doing Lego, snap circuits, and Rubik's Cubes. And those are all things that we got with grants or we won in a contest. The Legos we won in a contest, which is pretty cool.
Then we will also do tea parties this year. We always do a Mad Hatter tea party, and this is for the 3 to 7-year-olds. We have a lady that has done it for years and years and years, and she loves to do it. I really had planned on not doing it this year, but then she pretty much begged me. Yeah. And so we're going to do it. We're going to have it outside. It'll be fun. She reads the part of Alice in Wonderland about the tea party, and then the kids get to, when the kids come, they color on the table. We have the tables covered in paper, and they color on the table and make a placemat, and then they do a little craft that's a flower, and it ends up to be a centerpiece. And then we go read the story, and then we come back and we have Mary Berry tea and cookies. And the thrill of it all is that we use kid teapots, and we just let them drink themselves full of Mary Berry tea, also known as apple juice. You'd swear that some of them drink from the tips of their toes to their eyeballs full of apple juice on that day. Anyway, and then we go back and finish the story. It's always fun. We have a good crowd. We did not do it last summer, but the summer before, we had to do 3 tea parties. And one of the tea parties was almost all boys. So, that to me was, boys and tea parties are a whole different monster than girls and tea parties. It was fun, but it was different. And then we normally do an American Girl tea party. And it's usually in our conference room. The boys would be welcome to come to that also, but guess what? We don't normally have boys come to that. It's for the 8 and up age group. They normally bring their dolls with them. Sometimes they dress alike. If they don't have an American Girl doll, they might bring a Walmart doll or a teddy bear or whatever they have that's special. Some of them don't bring anything. It's no big deal. We go around, introduce ourselves, say where they're going to school at, if they have a doll, what their doll's name is. And we, a lot of times we play American Girl Bingo and have little prizes for that. I normally have a bigger prize that we draw for. Everybody gets a book. And this year's girl that we're going to do is Blair, which actually she was last year's girl that we were going to do. So, and so this year we're not doing a tea party. We're going to have an American Girl picnic. So we're going to do, instead of doing a buffet type thing, we're going to do brown bags. And I think we're going to do wraps in there, maybe some fruit, a bottle of water, I don't know, different drinks, stuff like that. So, we've got to be flexible and roll with the flow on this outside stuff, so I think that we'll have a good attendance and it'll be fun. And then we're also going to do a teddy bear picnic this year. This is a new thing, and it's for any age that wants to come. They can bring their teddy bear or their doll or whatever they sleep with at night if they want. We're going to have tablecloths out on the ground, and they can sit down on the tablecloths, and we're going to have Teddy Grahams and apple juice, and then we're just going to read teddy bear stories and have a teddy bear picnic. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. And so
Kandi,
then,
wait a minute. Kandi, do you require registration before your events?
Actually, we had them sign up for everything, where I'm not planning to turn anybody away. We just kind of sort of need a head count, so I know whether to buy 20 juices or 50 juices, and so far our sign up has been phenomenal on those stuff. Our snap circuits, we've got like 22.
Yeah.
We're really happy with our signups.
Mm-hmm. And we're doing something a little different with our sign up this year. We had a Google form that people could use to sign up for the summer reading program, like the reading part. And we probably had about 120 people sign up for that before our first day. And then we're also including Google's forms for all of these other signups. So if someone sees our event on Facebook, I included a Google link into that form so that way they can sign up on Facebook, or if they hear about it at the library, they can just sign up on paper. So we're trying to be as flexible as possible with our signups, so that way we can include everyone as possible.
Mm-hmm. And then we're also signing up on Reader Zone too. I forgot to say that.
Yeah,
too.
we're doing Reader Zone again too, to track our reading.
Yeah. And you want to do the
planting? So the other thing we have planting parties and slime parties. So planting parties, pretty simple. We give them two kinds of cups. We give them a clear cup, and then we give them like a styrofoam cup or a paper cup, and they can decorate both with markers and crayons and stickers and all kinds of things. And then we fill it up with dirt, and then they pick whichever seed that they want to plant in their cups. So we get a variety, and we usually get just the cheapo seeds that you get at Walmart. Some of them are vegetable seeds, some of them are flower seeds, and they just take their 2 cups and they just take them and go. We don't water them at the library because it's a lot easier if your cups spill in your car to clean up dirt than it is to clean up mud. For our slime parties, we did this not last year, but the year before COVID. And we used, I got these big giant gallons of clear glue. And then you use, I think it's either baking soda or baking powder. I can't remember which one. And then eye contact solution. And so the key to the slime party is that you need more volunteers. So that way you can kind of do it in a conveyor belt situation. The first step is they get their bowl and their spoon that they're going to mix their slime with, and then they move on to the next person and they dump their glue in, and then they move on to the next person and they get their baking soda or whatever, and they move on to the next person and add in their glitter and everything else that they want to add in their slime. And then the last step is the eye contact solution. And so as they move through the people, they need to stir up their slime. And so then by the end, they just go off and sit off to the bricks behind our building, and they just stir and stir and stir until finally they get the consistency of slime that they need. So if they need a little more eye contact solution or a little more glue, or they need some more glitter, they can always hop back in line and get that stuff. And then once they get to the slime that they like, they can either just keep it in their bowls and take it with them, or we have little plastic baggies that they can bag it all up in and take it with them.
We're also going to do a couple of movie nights this year. We got, through a COVID grant, we got a really cool blow up screen and a projector that we're going to have outside. And we're planning to do Charlotte's Web, the old animated version, and Secret Life of Pets are the 2 that we're going to have in June anyway. We haven't decided on July, but it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. And just to use our big blow up screen.
Mm-hmm. And then in previous years, we've had game days where we just open up our cabinet of board games that we have and let the kids go crazy. They can play any board game that they want. We have, your usual games like cards and chess and checkers. And then we have bigger games like Monopoly and Sorry. and like puzzles and stuff. And we just let the kids play with whatever they want, as long as they're not throwing pieces across the room. Then we also do drones, which we got through a grant. We have like 12 little drones. I don't know if you can see me, they're pretty small, less than a foot big. And we just take them out and with our tablets, and the kids just fly them, and they have lots and lots of fun with it.
We do have an age limit on that one.
Yes, yeah. We have a 10 and up for that one, although sometimes those 10-year-olds don't like to listen, and our little drones sometimes get stuck on the roof or get stuck on a train, or they bump into a wall and then the propeller flies off. So that's kind of been a challenge with that, but luckily the parts are easily replaceable and you can just pop them back in. In years before, we did escape rooms in our conference room, but because of COVID this year, we weren't really comfortable with having a lot of teens together in a tight group in a small space. This year is something different. We're going to do a tie-dye party instead of escape rooms for our older kids. They will have to bring an item that they want to tie-dye. So it could be shirt, could be socks, could be sneakers, could be whatever, just something. 100% cotton works the best with tie-dye, but if for some reason a kid forgets or they can't bring something to tie-dye, then we'll have some socks that they can tie-dye or a tea towel or something. And then I'm going to do a Dino Dig, which is something, again, we're doing new. We're going to read stories about dinosaurs, and then we're going to talk about how people actually find dinosaur fossils. And then we're going to have like a dinosaur Easter egg hunt in our back of the library. And the dinosaurs are encased in like these little baking soda egg shaped clumps. And so once a kid finds a dinosaur egg, they can pour some vinegar on it and it'll bubble and fizz, and then it'll reveal the dinosaur that they found. So that's pretty cool. And then last thing that we're doing that's new this summer is I'm doing a teen Discord server with some other librarians in Southeast Kansas. Right now we have Alita from Fort Scott and Sabrina from Parsons, and we've been having a couple of game nights these last couple weeks. We did trivia the first night, and then Sabrina did Among Us, which is an online mobile game. And then Alita did some more mobile games last night. And then next week, I'm going to do a Minecraft server for kids. So if you guys have any Minecraft, people, that would be an interesting one for them to join. So I'm hoping we have good turnout for that.
There is an age limit on that. Correct?
Yes. So they have to be old enough to join Discord, which I believe is 13 years and older. Because that's how we communicate with each other, is through the Discord app, which is basically, if you don't know what Discord is, it's like Facebook Messenger, but without the Facebook part. So you don't have to be on a social media platform, which I know some parents are kind of like, ooh, I don't really want my kid on Facebook. So they can still message each other. And Valita and Sabrina and I all monitor the chat, so make sure that the kids aren't saying anything inappropriate. And then we also have there are things called bots, and they also monitor the chat and filter out like if a kid says a bad word or something. And we have rules in place that if a kid, says more than a couple bad words and he's acting out or whatever, then we can kick him off the server and all this kind of stuff. So if you're interested about joining that, you should let one of us know, or let Tammy know, and she can give you some more information too, because she was helping us kind of get it together.
Okay, so passive programming, we do color sheets. All summer long, we do color sheets, and those are things that just go out. We have a rack that we just have 25 each, and when they're gone, we'll get a different one, and people always take them. We are doing question of the week, which is exciting because you get to answer the question, put your name on a slip of paper, and put your guess on the back, and put it in a jug, and we'll separate who has the right answers out and draw a name out. They will get to fish from the fish pond and win a fabulous prize. Let's see. And then we have a story walk out back that Jeana changes twice a month. And we really enjoy having the story walk. It's good. I mean, people like to go and read it. And I mean, it's fun. Yep. And then we have Legos, Duplos, and cards and games. We have a Lego table and a Duplo table, and these are different than our regular programs. I mean, these are, if you have one kid that wants to play Duplos, or Legos, we get the bucket and they can go play on the table. but with COVID, you know, I mean, it's been crazy with the cards and games. So that's something that we're gonna monitor this year. I mean, we're not gonna be giving them out to 50 people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are some of the programs we have that are during the year that are not summer reading type things.
Right. So in-person programs, and we are hoping, really hoping that come fall, things can be more back to normal and we can do in-person programming in the library. We have weekly story time on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 3 and 4-year-olds. I do have them sign up because we have it in our story hour room, and we do have a limit of 20 people in the room because there's only one exit. For our story time, we do have the kids come in with Jeana and I. We don't have the parents come in. Sometimes, especially with the 3-year-olds, they need mom to come in. They just do. So, you know, we don't say, oh, mom can't come in. Mom comes in, and then after 2 or 3 times, she'll manage to work her way out. And it's a good thing. The kid knows that, guess what? She's going to be there when I'm done. And, you know, and I know some people really like to have the parents involved in this age. I like not to have the parents involved at this age, just because it makes a nice break for the parent. For one thing, they can visit with another parent for 30 minutes, and it builds confidence in that child that that parent is still going to be there. After 30 minutes, they're going to go out there and mom's still right there. And it kind of cuts the apron strings a little bit. And then rhyme time, we have on Friday mornings, and that's for the birth to 36-month kids. We never know. I don't have a sign up for that. So we never know if we're going to have 2 people or 30 people. And it varies just like that. We did start having weekly story time outside in the middle of March. And we had rhyme time inside starting in the middle of March, which we consistently had 3 2-year-olds come and their parents. And it is shocking how much COVID has affected the little kids, because the 2-year-olds had never been around other 2-year-olds. They had not learned to share. You know, the first 3 times it was like craziness. I mean, it's always like herding cats. I mean, we read books and we sing songs and do finger plays and do the felt board and do the magnet board. But this time it was like they didn't know how to act around each other. They didn't know how to share. And even just like they were just running around the space because they'd not been here before. And which it was freaking some of the moms out. But it's like, you know, they'll get it. And after about 3 times, you know, it all came together and they were doing way better. So, you know, I think that people don't realize how much it's affected the little kids not being exposed to other little kids.
Yeah.
You know?
So we had to stop our monthly crafts during COVID because, like we said, the conference room is way too small to have kids in there, but we're thinking of starting it again in the fall just because there's less kids in the fall. So instead of having 50 kids, we might have 20. So that makes a huge difference. And we're only going to do it once a month. So then we're also going to continue doing our robots, our coding, our Legos, our snap circuits, and our Rubik's Cubes. And it's all going to follow the same kind of pattern as we do before. You know, the kids can come and play with their stuff. More so in the fall, I'm more flexible on the kids on how much time they want to spend in the program. So they might play with our Legos for 15 minutes and decide that, you know what, I'm done playing with Legos. I want to go back in the library and look at books. And I say, okay, that's fine. Some kids, they want to stay and play with snap circuits, you know, for 2 hours. And it's like, okay, I got to cut you off because I got to go to dinner. So a little more flexible with the timing. Usually in the summer when we do these programs, it takes up the whole time just because we have so many kids. But in the fall, it's a nicer, slower pace of things. And so kids can just take the time to explore what they want to do.
At Halloween, we do trick or treat at the depot. We partner with the Safari Museum, who's our neighbor in our building, and we make treat bags. And usually Cindy and Jackie dress up because they're really into Halloween, and they pass out these little candy packets, and usually it's a coupon that goes to the museum and some, little spider rings or stuff from Rhode Island Novelty and some candy. And normally they pass out like 800 of them. I mean, it's insane how many they pass out.
And then after Halloween, we do our Christmas story times, and that one's a little bit different than our normal weekly story times, which is going on at the same time. Our Christmas story times are in the afternoons at 4 o'clock. So after kids are out of school and they have some time to drop off their school stuff and kind of get organized. And then we also have special guest readers and special Christmas cookies, and we sit around and we read Christmas books and we sing Christmas songs. And it's just a really nice time to just get in the Christmas mood of things.
And then not last year, but year before, we started a New Year's Eve program, and that was really fun. So on New Year's Eve, we had a get together downstairs in the lobby. We had like little smokies and food and hot cocoa, and had people come in, and we sang Auld Lang Syne and wished everybody Happy New Year. One thing I did learn on that is that an hour is too long. You need to do it for 30 minutes. So this year it will be 30 minutes. Last year we had to do it as a drive-by. We made up little New Year's Eve packets and sent home with people as they drove by. So, we managed to celebrate it, but it was weird because thanks to COVID,
And then a really easy program that we have throughout the year is another movie day. And normally we do it in the conference room, and we have a really nice wall-mounted TV in there now after we renovated our conference room. And we typically do it during spring break because kids are going to be off school. They're going to be looking for something to do. They're already going to be running around the library. Might as well just corral them in a room, sit them down, and have them watch the movie and eat some popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Also do escape rooms. I do themed escape rooms, usually around Halloween. The year before COVID, we did a zombie escape room, and then we were going to do a Christmas escape room, but I didn't have enough people signed up for that one. So hopefully this year we can do it again, get more people back into the library and interested in that. Then we do drones in the fall and the spring. Usually we do one in September, and then we might do one another early October before the weather gets too cold to do it. And then same thing in the spring. We might do it at the end of March, and then we might do it again in April.
One thing we do is fall movie bingo, and that's always fun. Jeana made up some bingo cards for us, and we do adult bingo. And so on their bingo card, it might be watch a Western, watch a Hallmark movie, watch a comedy, and they watch enough movies to get a bingo, and then they get to put their name in the drawing. And then if they get a blackout, then they get to put their name in the drawing. Yeah, the name in the drawing for as many bingos as would be on the card. And we have a drawing for, I think we did an Amazon gift card this last time, or movie tickets. I don't remember for sure. And then we also do a kid one. So the same kind of thing, watch a Paw Patrol, watch a Barbie movie, and when they get a bingo, they get to put their name in the drawing. And when they get a blackout, they get, for however many bingos would be on the card, they get their name in the drawing, and, we draw for a fabulous prize.
Yeah. And then hopefully in the fall, we'll be able to continue our teen Discord and be able to play online games with our teens and stuff. And maybe some more will be able to join us over the summer.
For passive programs, we keep the color sheet thing going on. I mean, it is one of those things that people really like. It's like, okay, I think they get tired of this, but they don't. Anyway, then we also do question of the week, and in the regular school year, we change up question of the week. And so if you answer the question of the week correctly, you get to have a piece of candy. Mm-hmm. And so we've learned that we can't do it in the summer because it's way too expensive to keep up with the candy with all the kids that we have. So we limit that to the school year, and it's always fun. We've learned that we used to just let the kids pick their candy out of the little bucket thing that we have, but now we know that, you spread it out, so the kids can point to the one, and then we let them pick that one, because, you often see people picking their nose or whatever, and then getting their candy. It's like, okay, that's too gross. So we changed that up.
Yeah.
You have a question from Kathy Hill, who would like to know what would be an example of some of the questions of the week.
So during the summer, I usually try to keep it fun, try to keep it engaging. So this week's question, I found I'm not going to say this real loud in case someone's listening. It's a blackout picture of a zebra. So that's the answer, is zebra. And I asked, what is this animal? And it's the blackout silhouette of the animal. And so they write down their name, their phone number, so that way I can call them if they win. And then they write their answer on the back and they stick it in our jar. It's like I said, during the summer, I try to keep it easy, so that way, it's their time off from the school. They don't really have to be thinking about stuff. But then during the normal year, I try to engage a little bit more with their critical thinking skills. So I usually have a book that has the answer somewhere in the book with like a bookmark that's marking the page. So for the younger kids, you read the sentence that has the answer, and I try to format the question so that way it's like, trying to think of a Memorial Day. Like if I had a Memorial Day question, what is Memorial Day? Then I would find a sentence in the book that says Memorial Day is a day to celebrate veterans. So then you ask a little kid, what is Memorial Day? And they'll say a day to celebrate veterans, something real simple for that. Sometimes I do scavenger hunts throughout the library. I've done Easter egg hunts. You have to find an Easter egg. And then if you find an Easter egg, you get your piece of candy, and then you can re-hide the Easter egg. I've done gold coins for St. Patrick's Day. I've done Dewey Decimal System numbers. So I give you a number and I say, go find this number on the shelf and tell me what this section is about. And so it's kind of a way to talk to kids and get them, moving around the library and using those skills.
Mm-hmm. And we've done questions with the globe, with dictionaries, with the encyclopedia, and a lot of kids have never, they've never looked at a globe, they've never messed with an encyclopedia, so it's fun, and like I said, we keep it easy enough that nobody's real intimidated, and we help if they need help. We help them, so everybody ends up getting their piece of candy.
Brooke from Hamilton would like to know about escape rooms. Is there some kind of a cheat sheet that you use when you are setting one up?
A lot of escape rooms, I find they have guides online. So if you type in free escape rooms, there's going to be some blogger that says, I did this escape room with my kids and it was great. And they'll talk about exactly what they did. I look for that. Look for the free stuff first. There are some sites that you can pay like $5 for, and they'll give you all the supplies. You just have to print it out and set it up. So that's always an option too. There are some, we'll talk about this kind of later in the presentation too. There are some escape room books that Iola has in their professional collection. There are ideas that you can find anywhere online. If you have any questions or anything, I can always send you my escape rooms that I've done and how I've set it up, because I keep all that stuff just in case I want to do it again. Yeah.
Let's see, story walk. You want to do story walk?
Yeah, so story walk, going back to our passive programs. In the fall, I change it up to, instead of doing it every single two a month, I change it to just one a month, because the weather kind of starts getting bad in the fall. So I try to do one a month or two a month in September, maybe two a month in October, depending on the weather. And then November is our last one, and that's usually a Thanksgiving one. And then I start it back up in March. So in March, I might do, depending on the weather, I might do one in March, or I might do two. And then I do try to do two in April and then two in May. And the May ones usually tend to be themed around what our summer reading program is. Recently, we partnered with our extension office, and they gave us story walks that were themed around different programs that they were doing. And so we just put their story walk in our story walk, which was great because I didn't have to do much.
And let's see here, Legos and Duplos cards and games, those are just ones that are available for the kids. If they, if they want to play with the Duplos on the Duplo table, they just come and get the bucket of Duplos. And same with the cards and games, we just let them come and get the Monopoly game and go back and play it, and they just bring it back to us, or they want the checkers or the chess pieces. We have a checker and a chess table that they come and play with.
Next slide.
Okay, outreach programs. We have a program that we do. It's called Check Up and Check Out at Ashley Clinic, and it is sponsored by the Kansas Pediatric Foundation, and Dr. McFarland got us started doing that. We have Literacy for All, and that was started through Community Action Grant with KU. And we, for the Literacy for All, we partner with our Neosho County Health Department, and we have well, it's a laundry basket that we have down there. I take probably 30 items a month down. With our grant, we bought board books, and so I take down board books. We also pay attention to the books that are donated, and so if we have some good donated chapter books, I take chapter books or early readers down there. I take some like YA books that, because we have mamas that like to read too, and we just take them down there, put them in the basket. One thing I do is make sure that we have a Chanute Public Library sticker on the back, because every little bit of publicity you can get is a really good thing. For the check up and check out at Ashley Clinic, when families go for well child checks, the Ashley Clinic will give them a book, and then they'll also give them a card, and they bring this card to the library, and we have them write their child's name and their age and the date on the card, and then they get to pick a free book. So, it's good for both of us. I mean, it gets people in the library that don't always come to the library, and that's good. I do special story times at Brighter Beginnings and Head Start, which are 2 daycares. And those are outreach programs. I normally go to them on Wednesday mornings. That didn't happen last year, thanks to COVID, but year before it happened, and I'm hoping to start again in the fall with Brighter Beginnings and Head Start. And, that's fun to be able to go into the different daycares and meet different kids.
Yeah. So then we also do Kansas Reads to Preschoolers in November. Kandi reads the special book that they pick out that we'll read to all of our preschoolers. So we read it to our story timers, and depending on what the book is, we might read it to our babies at rhyme time. And then I usually go out and I try to purchase cheap copies of the book and use it for our story walk as well. And then we have 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten, and we break that one up every 250 books into 4 different folders, and they're all different color coded. And so, we tell the parents it's no pressure. We're not real picky on when they finish. If they happen to finish the month into kindergarten, that's fine. We want them to come back, and we want them to have their hardcover book and be rewarded for all the work that they were doing. So they can, every time they come into the library, they get a folder, they take it home, they write it out, and then they bring it back. And so they get a prize once they finish a folder. So it might be a little card game, it might be a fruit snack, it might be a sticker. And then once they finish all 4, then they get their hardcover book that they get to pick.
We do school tours. Normally, we don't do programming in May, so we can specifically do school tours. We usually have their preschool comes. We have first and second, and sometimes 3rd grade and kindergarten come from USD 413. We try to get them as early in May as possible to come in, because once we get closer to summer reading, we are just really busy trying to get stuff ironed out. Well, this year we didn't get one group in because they wanted to come last day before school was out, which happened to be the Thursday before summer reading started on Tuesday. It's like, that wasn't gonna work, which their busing didn't work anyway, but
Yeah.
you know, we try really hard to get them in early during the month of May.
And then the last thing we do is called Safari Days, which is a big community event that the Safari Museum and the Chamber of Commerce organizes. In years before, they've had petting zoos, they've had an Octave Chanute impersonator come and talk about his life and the founding of Chanute and all that kind of stuff. And so we just make sure we have a special story walk outside and that we're telling people about our programs, because it usually is in April, which is a good month right before summer reading starts. And so that's when we're really starting to push people like, hey, we're starting summer reading. Are you thinking about summer reading? So yeah, so we do that as well. Okay, so we just went through all the programming we do here at Chanute, and it sounds like it's quite a lot. And it might sound like we have all the money in the world, but we don't.
Yeah.
So where do we get some of the money for our programming?
Okay, so our Friends of the Library group, they do fundraising and they help us. They buy all of our books for the end of the summer for the prizes for the kids. And they do a lot for us. Sometimes they pay for programming or, you know, whatever we ask. They're really good about helping support us.
And then every year we send out community letters to all of our business partners in town, and we ask for donations for our summer reading program. In years before, Susan had a list of people who were for sure donors, and we decided this year that we would try to branch out a little bit since we have some new people in town and maybe some new people that took over old businesses. And so we kind of widened our search net a little bit this year, and I think we've had some good returns on that one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, grants, and more grants. You know, we're always looking for a grant to apply for. You know, and sometimes you don't get them, sometimes you do. You know, but the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say sorry. You know, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we take some of our money out of our normal budget, which is what I'm sure everyone does. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about our Friends of the Library fundraising and what they do. They have a bake sale every year during Valentine's Day with items handmade by our volunteers and our Friends of the Library group, and it's all chocolate.
And it's heaven. They bring it in on the day before, and this building smells so wonderful. You can't even imagine. It is so good. They make chocolate cake, chocolate pie, chocolate
cookies. They had chocolate covered bacon one year.
Yeah, chocolate covered strawberries, chocolate soap. Mm-hmm. I mean, all kinds of chocolate stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's their big fundraiser. Then they also do the used book sale, and that's just our regular book sale that we have on Artist Alley weekend. We always have the book sale going on in the lobby, and so that's just a regular thing for us. But then we drag everything out on Artist Alley weekend, as long as it's not raining. Yeah. It goes outside, and it's a good money maker for them. They come and help, and it's a good money maker. It helps clean out our basement too, so that's always a good thing.
And then we would be nowhere with our programs without our volunteers. They make cookies for our programs. They cut our crafts for us, or sometimes we have some old teachers that just can't help not being around little kids. Mm-hmm. And they want to help out with their programs, and so we would be nowhere without them, because we can't possibly do all the programs ourselves with how many kids we have that come. So our volunteers are a big draw for us. Mm-hmm. And then we also take all kinds of donations. So it's not just money donations. We'll take craft supplies, and we'll take little rinky-dink prizes. We'll take just about anything, but we draw the line at pad papers.
Yeah, that grosses us out. Mm-hmm. Big time. Mm-hmm. Okay, grants. Where we find our grants. Well, local and corporate grants, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Arby's, all of these places have grants. You got to be watchful, because some of them have different cutoff dates, you know, I mean, and so you got to watch, you know, when your cutoff dates are. ALA grants, and apply even if you don't think you'll get it. I mean, it's not going to hurt. You know, we've gotten some wonderful system grants, you know.
We've had the technology grant, we've
Mhm.
had furnishings grant, we've had collection grant. Did we get a dream grant? Was that at the store?
No. No.
But I mean, there's the dream grant, which is a really cool one because it's so broad and general, and you
Mhm.
could pretty much do anything with that one because you have to dream what you want to do with it, you know?
Uh-huh. See, nonprofit grants. What are you talking about now?
Oh, there's different nonprofits that might be in your area. And when I was in Abilene, we had a really great community foundation that just wanted to give out grants. They had a bunch of old people that were dying in Abilene. Sorry, but they did. And they would leave their money to the community foundation of Dickinson County. And I can't tell you how many grants I wrote in Abilene that we came up with the idea in the morning, and then we submitted it in the afternoon, and they were like, yes, this is good. Go ahead and go for it. I mean, so you might check out some of your local organizations and see if they would be willing to give you a grant or partner with you on different programs that you want to do.
And grants are everywhere. You just have to look for them. The grant tips, keep it short and sweet. I mean, people don't want to have to read through 15 pages of through. They just want it. I mean, they want to know what you want, how much it's going to cost, and what you're going to do with it. And, you know, they want to be able to read it, you know, and not have to try to figure out what you want, you know.
It's a group effort. So Kandi might be the one who's spearheading the effort, but she'll ask me to look over it, and I might catch some grammar errors or something sounds kind of funny to me, or I might have an idea to add on, and she'll take those ideas and you know, run with it. And we change our grants. We are always, you know, improving and trying to make it the best grant application that we can.
One thing is read it out loud. See if it sounds good or if it sounds crazy, you know, and that's if there's weird words or weird phrases, that's the important thing.
And then I really think this is important, is keep a grant wish list. So if you are listening to presentations like this, or you go to ALA or KLA and you hear people talking about programs that they have at their libraries, and you think, oh man, that would be so cool. If only I could figure out a way to do it. Write it down, because maybe there's a grant out there for you.
And, you know, I mean, I'm a dreamer. I will be the first one to admit it. I love to dream of things that we want to have at this library. And you know what? If you write it on that list, you know, some guy might die and leave you $500,000 so you can buy that bookmobile. You know, you never know. So just keep a list. You know, we also have on that list, we have tent weights. You know, I mean, everything from little stuff to big stuff, you know, we just keep a list.
And same thing with possible grants. You know, you might be flipping through Facebook and you see a grant that you're like, oh man, I wish I'd known about this a month earlier. Write that grant down so that way you can apply for it next year. Okay, so some people had questions about where we came up with some of our ideas, like the escape rooms and stuff. And so we'll kind of briefly go over some of our sources. So one of the big ones for me is our summer reading workshop and our wrap up, which should be coming up soon. I really like talking to other libraries and seeing what they do, especially in our area, because we're all of a pretty similar size. So what works for Iola or Humboldt might work for Chanute and vice versa. Whereas if I hear about an idea in Kansas City, that program just might be too big, and I might have to think about how I might have to rework it a little bit.
See, conferences, attending KLA, PLA, ARSL, or other small conferences. I love KLA. I hope we get to do it in person again. You know, virtual was okay, but in person is just better. You know, when you get to meet with your other librarians and bounce ideas off of each other just when you're visiting, you know, I mean, that's important. You know, always come back re-energized and ready to hit the floor running after you've been to some of those conferences. And, you know, it's well worth your money. If you can talk your director into letting you go, it's well worth your money.
And then, like I mentioned, with the escape rooms, Iola has a really good collection of professional books. Sometimes what Kandi and I like to do is we go onto the ALA website and we look at some of the books that they publish, and we think, oh man, this would be a really great one to buy for us for our library. But then we see it's like $50 and we don't want to spend the money. So we see if Iola can get it and if they'll spend the money for us, or maybe we'll get it from interlibrary loan and see if another bigger library has it.
That's a
Okay,
great idea. Let me just interrupt there for just a second. If you have professional resources that you would like to recommend that we purchase, most of the time we will. We do have a budget for that. So make sure that you're sending us those suggestions for sure. And that way we can share that resource across our consortium, and your library doesn't have to then spend the money to buy that resource.
Well, and a lot of those resources you access once or twice, you look at it, you think, oh yeah, this is a good idea, that's a good idea, but you really don't need to have the book on your shelf, on your personal library shelf, you know, I mean, and if you can still access it, if Iola has it, and you think, oh yeah, we looked at that book 6 months ago, you get it back again, you know, I mean, it's a good thing.
Yep. Then another really good one that we've been doing this year is the SEKLS Youth Forum, which I don't think we went to last month just because we were busy with summer reading, and I don't know if we'll be able to make it this month because of summer reading, and we'll have programs and stuff going on. But it's kind of the same thing with our summer reading workshop, where we meet with other youth librarians and we talk about what's going on at their library, and Tammy usually has a really good discussion question for us to think about and talk about and converse with each other.
I'm so glad this is kept up. I mean, I haven't been the last couple of months. I've been doing doctoring stuff on Thursday mornings, and I'm just so glad that you've kept this up, because it really is beneficial. I love getting to be able to talk to the other librarians. It's a really good thing.
And then I find a lot of my ideas on Pinterest, and Pinterest is not just a place to find crafts and stuff. You can also find stuff about escape rooms. I have a whole board on my Pinterest that's called library stuff, and it's everything from decorating to crafts to worksheets for kids to escape room stuff. So you can pretty much find anything on Pinterest. And if you don't find it on Pinterest, you can always just pin it to your Pinterest and save that website for later, so you can keep going back to it. You don't have to think, wait a second, where was that one website? I don't remember.
Social media, Facebook. Yeah, there's tons and tons of groups on Facebook. I don't know how many I belong to, but a lot. And they usually have really good ideas. I mean, there are questions. Sometimes people ask questions and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. You know, I mean, so get on social media and join some of those groups.
Okay, so we're talking about some of our craft supplies. So some of the ways that we are able to buy our prizes for our teens and tweens is that we buy in bulk online. So Oriental Trading, Rhode Island Novelty, and then we use any coupon that we can find. We rarely ever buy anything full price. So if they have some kind of special promotion going on during the month of May, I'm hopping on that. If you go to Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby and they have special coupon sales going on, hop on that. Same thing with Amazon. Sometimes Amazon, I think Prime Day is coming up. See if they have any cool stuff that is like, you know, $5 and you can get a whole bunch of it, you know, for $5. Do that.
Shop local, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, donations from local businesses, garage sales, flea markets. You know, something we do is like in the summertime, you know, you gotta watch when Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Walmart start putting their summer toys on sale. Hey, that's when we're buying for our treasure chest. You know, there's lots of good sales that you can get if you're paying attention.
Yeah, and no prize is too small. So we always shop the candy sales after a major holiday. So Halloween, we're there at 8 o'clock in the morning buying all that Halloween candy.
Midnight.
Yeah. So you can always tell when we do question of the week when we bought the candy, because it's usually holiday themed. So Christmas, we're handing out Halloween candy, and Valentine's, we're handing out Christmas candy, and then Easter, we're handing out Valentine's Day candy. So we always shop the sales on that. And then if you ever happen to have kids' toys, if you get a kids meal, you know, you go to lunch one day and you're thinking, oh, I don't really want a big, huge meal from Sonic. I just want a little kids pack toy. You know, get the kids pack toy and save the kids toy for your treasure chest. Yeah, so you would not believe how many kids would much rather have the Sonic toy that comes, you know, that's in a little plastic wrap thing than a wooden snake that we specifically bought for the treasure chest because we thought it would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're coming to the questions or comments section of our presentation. We have any time left, Tammy? If anyone has any questions for us or anything, you can type it in
We
the
are
chat.
right at the end of our time, but it would be fine to just wait around and see if anyone has questions. I've been trying to catch them as they come in chat, but if anyone has questions, now's a good time. If you want to unmute or if you want to put it in chat, I'll read it.
You can unmute if you want, just popcorn style.
You're getting lots of great job, lots of good information. Thank you.
Well, thank you for asking us to present. This was fun.
You're welcome, and thank you for agreeing. And that's going to be the end of our annual meeting this year. There's no final wrap-up session. So after we are finished here, I'm going to stop the recording, and then you're free to go about your day. You didn't cover your story time this morning or your program this morning that you had 100 kids at.
Oh, yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit before the meeting got started. To reiterate for the people that weren't here, we had our extension officer from the K-State Extension in our local community come and do plant people with us. And so she had gotten pantyhose and stuffed like a big ball of dirt in it and then planted some seeds and then tied a knot. And so then the kids would decorate the ball of dirt, and we gave them a cup so they could water their dirt, and then if they kept watering their seeds, it would grow hair out of the top of it and make a person. So we had probably over 100 people there. We told our extension lady, you know, expect anywhere from 80 to 100 people, and I don't think she quite believed us. And so she was like, oh, okay, you know, like, okay, we're going to be rocking and rolling this morning.
People are ready to do things. Shayla, you asked about the presentation. There will be a recording and we'll put it up on the SEKLS website. If you're wanting their actual PowerPoint, you can probably just email Jeana or Kandi or me and I'll get you in touch with them. Where do you find the Dollar General grants? Diane, if you do a general Google search for Dollar General grant, you'll come up with the links. Also, I have on the youth services page at SEKLS, I've started linking different grants. So you can go look there. And if you can't find it, let me know, but it should be pretty easy to find. They are rock stars. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.